Hello everyone, this is Imanshu back with another video, and this video is going to be third episode of the experienced professionals sharing real experiences, right? And in this video we are going to interview Miss Sakshi Gautam. She is a CMA India Charter, CMA USA Charter, along with member of Institute of Public Accountants Australia, and along that she also associate member of the Institute of Financial Accountants UK, and also she is holding number of years of experience into the FP&A profiles. Actually, she is a specialist into the FP&A in General Electrics currently, and in the past she has worked with BlackRock, IBM, and a few of the other firms as well. As we got to know, she is holding number of year experience. तो आज हम उनको इंटरव्यू करने वाले हैं. So she is going to share her real experience about CMA USA Charter, about job market, preparation strategy and everything around. तो आज का वीडियो शुरू करने से पहले I would request you guys please subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon because ऐसे बहुत सारे interviews, ऐसे बहुत सारे videos और number of courses CIMA, CFA, CPA, ACCA, CMA USA आने वाले हैं. Because I'm not just going to make videos on these courses. I'm also going to interview a number of people who are holding real experience about the job market, about different certification, that you guys be able to get that real experience that people hold in terms of their professional journey. तो आपको ये सारी वीडियोस इस चैनल पे मिलने वाली है. उसके लिए आपको क्या करना है, इस चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करना है और साथ में बेल आइकन को प्रेस करना है. इसके साथ साथ देयर इज़ वन मोर रिक्वेस्ट बिफोर स्टार्टिंग द इंटरव्यू. आपको डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स में टेलीग्राम चैनल प्लस ग्रुप का लिंक मिल जाएगा. टेलीग्राम चैनल के थ्रू मैं बहुत सारा फ्री कंटेंट शेयर करता हूँ, कूपन कोड शेयर करता हूँ, स्किल बेस्ड कोर्सेज का जो Udemy पे अवेलेबल है, कोर्सेरा पे अवेलेबल है और नंबर ऑफ साइट्स पे अवेलेबल है. उनके कूपन कोड्स मिल जाएंगे, लिंक्स मिल जाएंगे, डेली आर्टिकल्स, डेली ई बुक्स ऑन फाइनेंशियल मॉडलिंग, इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंकिंग एंड अदर प्रोफाइल्स एज वेल. ई बुक्स भी शेयर करता हूँ, आर्टिकल्स भी शेयर करता हूँ, बहुत सारा ऐसे ऐसे फ्री कंटेंट शेयर करता हूँ दैट फ्री फ्लो ऑफ एजुकेशन हो पाए, फ्री फ्लो ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन हो पाए. उसके लिए आप टेलीग्राम का ग्रुप ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं, आप नंबर ऑफ प्रोफेशनल से कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं. इफ़ यू हैव क्वेरी रिलेटेड टू जॉब मार्केट, डिफरेंट सर्टिफिकेशन, आप उस ग्रुप में पूछ सकते हैं प्रोफेशनल से एंड यू विल बी गेट आंसर्ड for sure. So with these group I'm trying to create a financial community where free flow of education and free flow of information can happen, right? सो आप टेलीग्राम ग्रुप को प्लस चैनल को ज़रूर ज्वाइन करेगा. दोनों के लिंक आपको डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स में मिल जाएंगे. अगर आपके डायरेक्टली कोई मुझसे क्वेश्चन है, आप नीचे कमेंट बॉक्स में कमेंट करके भी पूछ सकते हैं. अगर आपको कोई सजेशन है कि फ्यूचर वीडियोस इन टॉपिक्स पे होना चाहिए, आपको कोई डाउट है, तो वो भी आप कमेंट बॉक्स में कमेंट करके पूछ सकते हैं, सजेस्ट कर सकते हैं, राइट? आप मुझसे भी डायरेक्टली जुड़ सकते हैं लिंक्डइन के थ्रू. मेरी लिंक्डइन प्रोफाइल का लिंक आपको डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स में मिल जाएगा टेलीग्राम ग्रुप और चैनल के लिंक के साथ. और अगर आपको डायरेक्टली कोई क्वेश्चन है एज ए सेड, आप कमेंट बॉक्स में कमेंट करके भी पूछ सकते हैं और लिंक्डइन पे भी कनेक्ट करके पूछ सकते हैं. आई विल श्योरली आंसर ऑल ऑफ योर क्वेरीज, क्वेश्चन एंड डाउट्स फॉर श्योर. ये बहुत सारी बातें हो गई. चैनल को सब्सक्राइब आई एम श्योर आप कर ही लोगे, बेल आइकन प्रेस कर लोगे, टेलीग्राम ग्रुप ज्वाइन कर लोगे, चैनल ज्वाइन कर लोगे. आई थिंक दैट्स इनफ फॉर मी. तो चलिए स्टार्ट करते हैं आज का इंटरव्यू विद साक्षी गौतम. लेट्स स्टार्ट.
So yes, recording has been started. So let's come up with the main subject, which is CMA, USA today.
Yes.
And first of all, just introduce yourself that people can, be more aware of and relate, their background
Mm-hmm.
with you, and they can understand, what is going to happen if they will do CMA USA, and they can relate. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe I'll give like a very quick introduction about myself. For those who have not read my name in the caption, so this is Sakshi Gautam, and I happen to have cleared my CMA USA in 2018. And the reason I stumbled upon this qualification was that I was out of my bachelor's, and I was trying to understand, okay, what next can I do? And I did not want to go for an MBA because I was like thinking everybody's doing an MBA, and even the jobs for MBA are almost the same pay range until unless you're from a top B school. So I was like, I want to do something different, but at the same time I wanted to have like a professional qualification, a white collar job. And though I was a CA aspirant, so I also cleared CPT in first attempt. I was appearing for IPCC while I was in college, and as the general case B, I flunked. So I was like, I don't want to give my 7 to 8 years to this course. And I had this thing that I do not wanted to get into a core finance. Like I did not want to post journal entries. I do not want to, be taking care of ledgers and everything. I thought I was always more good with analysis, and that's when I listed out my three main priorities. The very first was financial planning and analysis, then it was risk management, and the last one was auditing. And basis that, I started to look out for the courses that met my criteria. Plus I always wanted to go out and have a qualification that is a global qualification and not just Indian. So that's when I stumbled upon a CMA US. And that time when I was giving CMA US, I find out that they have an MOU, and then you can also get the ICWA India, which by the way just got chalked out by the time I was done with it. So that never worked out in the same way. So that's how I came to be doing CMA US. And when we talk about the experiences that I have, so I've worked with IBM in the beginning of my career, and I wasn't into FP&A then, and I was doing this job in IBM because I wanted to satisfy that 2 years requirement of experience for my license into CMA USA. But I think the destiny was on the side, and I cleared it in first attempt. And that's when I started to look out for more of those three priority lists, that what I can get as an opening. And that's when this company called Defsys Solutions, so it's a defense manufacturing company. They basically manufacture these payloads, missiles, and shipments for Rafale and Dassault. I got in there as an individual contributor, and I think that was the break of my life. I got into FP&A, and very very funny situation. I was the one who had to start the FP&A department when I did not knew a penny of it. So that's how it started, and from there I went to BlackRock. Then right now I'm working for General Electric, and right now I am a specialist into FP&A. So I basically deal into income statements, P&Ls, my cash flows, everything that you can think of in FP&A. Not, of course, like I still have a more way to learn, but I think I've got my hands dirty on it, and that's how CMA paid off to me.
Okay, that's actually really great. So, if I just one thing.
Yeah.
So it's been a really, really great introduction as of now, I can say. Yeah. And in terms of getting studying with the CMA certification and getting with a job, have you found anything which is which you think that it can be better choice for someone who also wanted to pursue a career into the finance and management and business? So would you suggest studying with the CMA, or based upon your experience from studying with the CMA,
Mhm,
getting a job and everything around, because lots of people ask
mhm,
this question, well, they get confused between SEMA or CMA USA or either CPA, because that all
mhm.
gets into the one way, which is finance and accounting. And for getting into the for finance and accounting profiles, what you suggest, based upon your experience from zero to one? Yeah.
Yeah. So I think maybe I'll put it as one hard truth that I have learned myself is that CMA US, SEMA, ACCA, CA, or CPA is not going to give that dream job where you think, okay, now I've done this, I'm going to get paid what 70, 80,000. That's what every fresher thinks of. Okay, now this is done. I am on the top of the world. That doesn't happen. They don't give you a job. I think I've learned it the hard way. I was one of the lucky people who got a job because of CMA, but a lot of people who did that with me, they never got a job. They started like from 16, 17K. I mean, I'm quoting the figures, which I should not, but I just wanted to give a reality check here. So that doesn't happen. This is helpful when you are an experienced professional. It is not helpful to get into a job. Having these qualifications gives you a tunnel, a diversification, or maybe a USP when you're sitting amongst different candidates, and you already have an experience, and you're sitting amongst different candidates, and you're giving that interview, you'll get selected for sure because you have a distinctive degree. But if you are a fresher and you have this degree, of course, again, at the same time, it's going to give you that distinction, but you're not going to be paid as a CMA US as you might think, or a SEMA. No, that's
Got
not
it.
going to happen. And I don't think that's going to happen either outside India or in India. I think one thing that everybody looks out for is experience. So the people who should be doing CMA US, I think there could be two kinds of people. One is that you are experienced, you're already working your way through, And in finance there are a lot of lines, like there is O2C, P2P, R2R, then there's FP&A, risk management, and so on and so forth. And I think it kind of CMA US specifically, or maybe when I talk about SEMA, I think it goes towards more into the analysis side. I think when you're dealing not with the balance sheet but anything else than that, that is when it would help you. And if you are an experienced professional, then you can definitely take, I would say SEMA is the epitome of management accountants. If you
Yes.
want to do something that is time taking but it is hardcore, go for SEMA. But if you want to get something for yourself, get prepared in your life, and then you go for something hardcore, take your time, go for SEMA ultimately. But if you want to kickstart your journey, do CMA US. And I'm not saying do both of them, do whatever suits your
Hmm.
needs, but I think both of them gives the value in different ways, and SEMA is the epitome. If you have SEMA, nobody's going to ask you, are you a CA or ICW? No, nobody's going to ask you that. But for people like for me, I've done CMA US, so I would say that it's beneficial if you have experience and you want to create that distinction. And for the freshers, who are actually the most confused people out there, do your CMA US if you want to get into this field, but do not expect that you have done the CMA US, you don't have any experience, and you are going to get that dream job. This is what
Yes,
I thought,
true.
and that did not happen, right? You would get a job like any other fresher would get. Of course, if you are from a top college, you might just get a buffer of that amount of that pay scale, of course. But on the other hand, you will not get a top end job just because of CMA US. But after 2 years, when you leave that office and you're trying to search for the new one, that's when you're going to see the edge.
I
So
have
that's
seen,
that's that's what
yeah,
I have realized.
I have seen this by myself as well. When I was studying for CMA USA in my batch, there were people from HSBC, Citi, and other banks as well who were having the experience of average around 10 years, and they were pursuing CMA USA just to get, ladder up their career in terms
Right.
of promotion, in terms of getting recognitions in their company, and even companies were sponsoring them. In terms of graduation, that's right. And for the undergraduate, yeah, it's really fine because there is no such a really good certification alternative is available because CFP is
Right.
available that goes to for personal finance, CWM goes to
Mm-hmm.
as always wealth management of the personal people. But in terms of getting into the finance and accounting, a world recognized certification, I think CMAUS is a good choice. But you can expect 50K or 60K or just
Mm-hmm.
getting after getting cleared. It can be, as you said, if you're from the top college, we have really good background in academics, then you can expect. But in terms of, I have seen most of the people, even in my batch, as in your case, getting a lower package of 15, 20, and something like that, and starting with the
Right.
with that particular package. And that's the reality of the CMUSA certification.
And then
People,
people go throwing out papers, it's not worth it and all that.
yes,
But I think why I've realized it, because while I was studying for CMA US, I was already working, and I saw that jump right after I've done it. And when people say I've not seen any value, I think that's particularly because you did not have the experience.
yes,
So
yes,
I think
true.
everything goes hand in hand. It's going to open various paths. When you apply for a job, you're always going to get
Yes.
selected. And thereafter, it's your experience and your interview talks that are going to help you. But it's going to open that path for you. And that's what is necessary with so
And
many people out
same
there.
in my case, I was having almost around 1.5 year experience in the accounting and finance area, and that helped me to get into the first corporate job, which is into the IHS market. So it always basically works for the people who are having some kind of experience
Mhm.
into the exposure to the area they wanted to go, right? And that's really true.
Right.
And people actually this is what I feel, which is really bad. People and the council of the institute really sells this course by saying that you will get at least 5 to 6 lakhs of minimum package. I don't
Yes.
want to name an institute, but they even promises a really good job that they will help to get, and they will give you placement assistance as well. But that doesn't happen actually in terms of real
And
life. And
Himanshu, the worst fact is, even if you get it, even if the institutes help you with that part and you get that placement, you would notice that it's always into a part that's totally non-relevant to the course that you have done. People get into
yes,
P2P, saying that I have done CMA US and I've got this package of 5 to 6 lakhs, which does not even make sense.
yes,
Some people get into equity and valuations, which is more of a CFA profile. I
CFA
mean,
profile.
management
Yeah,
accountants are
true,
not meant for that.
true, true,
So
true,
that's
true.
happening Sadly.
Even I have seen, it's not just with this institute. I have seen this a lot of institute, like they have institute who provides training for the financial modeling, but we're getting into the GenPEC, into the FP&A. Why the people are doing
Yeah,
financial modeling if you wanted to go into the FP&A, into the GenPEC?
of
I have
course.
seen, yeah, this is the real life experience I've seen on LinkedIn, that they're having certification, they
Yeah.
just cleared, and they are very happy that they have joined GenPEC in the FP&A team, but that's not the reality. Why?
No, but
I
I
have
think
seen.
kudos to you that you're taking up this topic because it's very, very important as a person who actually was in a job who was doing it for the sake of the license. Even then, I didn't realize because I think a lot of pressure runs after the pay package. And I must tell you that it happens. It happens with time. I think few very lucky people who get a package of 18, 19 lakhs, which I know, it's they're doing this MBA from top universities and everything, so people have to understand the fact that they have given extra 2 years. They're just not out of their bachelor's course and they have paid the
Yes.
same amount of money. And if for them to get that return also values out. But I've seen MBAs from top premier colleges still getting out 50K. So I think it's all upon the luck or maybe the companies coming in. But with this course, magic will happen, but it's going to take its own time and you need to
Yes.
have that experience for that.
True, true, true. Even my batch, there was a guy who was really good in academics, and he was not able to clear his CS final, and he was giving multiple attempts, but
Hmm.
he chose CMA USA as an alternative. And after
Hmm.
doing CMA USA, based upon his great academics in 12th and 10th, and in the CS as well, he shifted to the Bangalore in the Northern Trust, and he got a really good package of around 8 lakh rupees, and that was really good at the start of the career when he was not doing anything, but CMUS really helped him get something. So
Hmm.
as you said, it has value, but you need to go along the way and keep
Yeah,
gaining the experience, and you cannot expect that just by clearing the certification, they will be guy having the
right.
having Mercedes and being your driver and drive you to the office,
Correct.
something like that. It will not happen actually. Yeah.
Right. I still remember, I think my time, I cleared my CMA US, I think in November, by the end of November, almost 29th, 30th November of 2018. And I started applying. And the way I apply on jobs is like I would go on Naukri.com, I would select all, and I would apply all. I will leave the job of shortlisting to the recruiters and I would not even pay attention. Okay, am I applying to the right jobs? And then it's their job. So I would do that. And December passed by and I did not even got one single call because, of course, I was into a different field. I was into O2C and I wanted to get into FP&A and other things. But I think by mid-January I got that life-changing call where I was fortunately selected to create an FP&A department and report directly to the Israel president. I mean, so things happened, but it took their own time. But again, in the interview when we were doing that negotiation for money, I was like, okay, what package are you expecting? And I quoted them an amount, and they said, oh, no, 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 and they cut it by, I think, what, 70%. And this is what I can offer you. I was like, I am a CMA US, and that is what I said to that person. And they were like, okay,
Oh.
there are a lot of people who are the same thing. And I said, I'm one of them. You're interviewing me. And we're like, okay, this doesn't work like that. But then they gave me a math problem and say, if you solve this, maybe we can meet your amount. And that's how it started. So I think it's very important you have that confidence. Okay, you have done that, but do not expect the unexpected because I did, and I was taken aback, and then I had to do all the queries and stuff.
And what do you think? Which profile, people who are who are just graduate and who have done CMA USA, which profile they should target in terms of getting their first job? Because I have seen a lot of people getting into the wrong profiles, even getting with the right certification, and that
Mhm.
hamper their career in the long term. So what do you think? What should be the right profiles they should target?
See, I am a huge fan of FP&A, so I'm always going to vouch for that because I personally feel if I think I was also making a wrong decision at that time when I was looking out for my top three priorities because for risk
Got it.
management, I think there is FRM, right? You
Yes.
would go into that specialization. Why would you do a CMA and try to go into risk management? So I was lucky it didn't work out for me. Auditing, there is so much happening, CIA and whatnot. So there's another specialization. O2C, P2P, R2R. R2R is someone who's a CA. They can do it. Otherwise, you are going to just bang your head on the wall saying, okay, I'm preparing this balance sheet, I'm taking off journal entries, posting vouchers, etc., etc. P2P, O2C is something that people out of college can do. right? You do not even need to have, a specific certification for that. And if you want to grow in that field, ultimately you are going to end up in R2R, and in R2R, to diversify yourself, you would need a CA or CPA. So that's again for me out of the image. Then it's financial planning and analysis, and that's when I feel, okay, I don't see a qualification coming up that will make me distinct, from the other people who are there. And that's when I think about CMA US. Yes, management accounting, it can help me. It's all about the same thing. And then if I'd have to look for an epitome, I would think of SEMA. Yeah, SEMA is the thing. Nobody ever can match me. So SEMA, I think people should go for SEMA if they want to do into work into the management accounting side of business. And if you think SEMA is too long the way, you can go for CMA USA. But I would say one more thing, that people here, specifically when we talk about India, they do not know what CMA USA is. So
True.
BlackRock, I think it's the world's best asset management company. They do not know what a CMA US is. So my interview was directly with the USA manager, and that is why he knew it. Otherwise, people here did not knew it. And by the way, I got an edge over a CA candidate to get into the firm. So it does help in that way. On the other hand, people here, the very educated people who are learning and looking into finance, they know what a SEMA is. Not the heavy population, they would also not know what SEMA is. But the
Yeah.
value is worth it. It is global. So I think a lot of times people have to be explained, okay, this is a course, like the way you have ICWA, it is the same thing in US. And SEMA, it's like the epitome, it's the big master of all ICWAs and whatever I am. So I think that's a setback. Like you are it's the same thing, like you are in DU and you are in the South campus, and then you can't say, okay, I am in this university and this campus, North campus, your South campus, okay, it's off campus and everything. So I think it's
Even
the same way.
even same with me. When I was giving my first interview at the IHS market, I need to explain what is CMUSA, what is syllabus is all about. I need to even explain the chapters of the CMA USA, that they can
Right.
relate whether this is the right person or not for us. So
Mhm.
they wanted to evaluate that. I need to remember which chapters, which units were there, which subjects were there, that they can relate at least with the job description and get me hired.
Right.
I needed to do this,
Yeah.
and this
And the
happens a lot
worst
of
part
time.
is, the moment I've added ICWA, and it's not hardcore management accounting, it's cost and management accounting,
Cost and management.
and now I've added that to my resume, and I got calls like this. People don't realize, okay, what's happening with CMA US, when they hear ICWA, and that's when I say, tell them I am a CMA US person. That is when I'm an ICWA. So I think things in India, I think works that way. But of course, when you talk about MNCs and you actually go and meet those people who are really educated at a very high level, directors, presidents, that's when you will get an edge. Like I said, for the people who might be listening to this, that I got into BlackRock because my manager was a US person and he knew about CMA US. So I got that edge over a CA candidate. So it's going to work, but you need to have that patience and belief.
Yes. And for the people who wanted to like finally studying, CMA USA, what you would suggest, which is the best way, self-study or go with the education provider, or which, the course provider they should refer, either Gleam, either Hawk, either Wiley, because we both have experiences. So wanted you to explain your,
Mhm.
experience with the either education provider, or either with the self-study mode, or either with the course provider.
Okay. So this is, I think, very controversial answer that I'm going to give now. I think one way to look at it, like my personal way, is the way I think we all have been accustomed to since we have been young. It's to a certain type of reading and learning, making notes, solving questions. That is not how it works for CMA US. You need to have just, there are questions that I have seen in my time that has a numerical question built out of a theoretical concept, which I could have never thought of. And then when I look back, I was doing it in a question bank, and I look at the text and I was like, okay, it was basically a theory concept and a question is numerical. So I would say maybe in the beginning, I would say go to a education provider and understand how do you study for it, because there's a way of reading the concepts, so that you do not just hum ratta mate in India.
Yes.
So it doesn't work the same way. So you have to understand how you learn it, but at the same time, your 6 days with the education provider, it's not going to help you. After you know how to study for it, then it's all self study. I achieved it by self study. I did went to an education provider, but I think the only thing they helped me is how to read the books and how to grasp the concept and to know,
Got
okay,
it.
this can also come. This is most unexpected, but it can come. So the way of changing, the learning changed by them, but the I think the efforts were the self study. On the other hand, I am a big fan of Wiley, not just because I have done Wiley. I've also done Becker's. I think I've also done Hawk. I was also doing, I think, one more. I don't remember the name. So I've
Glam.
actually touched all of
I
them.
think Glam.
But why? The reason that I'm a fan of Wiley is not the type of questions you are going to see in the exam. I will emphasize on it, and that's when I say it's controversial. Wiley is going to clear your basics, and I think that is
Got it.
very important. If you're it's gonna challenge you on your basic knowledge of your concepts. But if you get your basics right, you are actually ready for the advanced level. And Becker has the data that's actually the exam level data. So you'll have those questions that are basically of the level of the exam that you will see. But of course, I just feel that the level in Becker is way higher than you see it in the examination. So I'm like, it's mind boggling. Okay, what am I studying? Have I ever studied? I mean, have I ever realized that I know all this stuff or not?
Yes,
So
true.
that's going to be a very it's going to pull you back. So
Got it.
Wiley, to clear your basics, and when you can, I used to do 2,000 questions of Wiley one day. I think 8 hours. That was enough for me. I used to complete 2,000 in a day. I had this much practice of Wiley. And when you're so good with your basics, that is when you can explore other options. So maybe
Got
go with
it.
Wiley, go to an educator, understand how to learn and look at these things, and then self study. Then leave the educator. Okay, give it just one time fee, though they give you lifetime opportunity to study with them until you clear. But just give them that fee, and then once you know how to do it, just sit back home, don't waste the time traveling, learn it, do it with the Wiley part, and after you're done with it, you are confident you can do the entire Wiley in a day. Start with Becker, that's going to give you the edge. But with Becker, I think there's a lot of problem with their question bank and stuff. I'm not sure 4 years now has that changed or not, but Becker
Same.
definitely has that
I
level.
was I was having the Baker as well, and I was having a problem with the question bank. The answer was different. The question was different. This I actually
They
examined
have
at
a lot
that
of
time.
wrong answers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and at my time, I practiced all of three, which is Hawk, Gleam, and Wiley, and the full question
Mhm.
bank, and which I really rated myself, which is, I think Gleam. Gleam is the best
Okay.
question bank ever they have, and they provide more than 2,500 questions for the each part. And I practice whole Gleam, and I in the real examination. I cannot say that the question were directly from the Gleam, but they were more related to the concept which were into the Gleam question bank. So this happened with me actually, and I practice as you said.
Okay.
Wiley. Wiley is really good in terms of even books. I studied from the Wiley
Hmm.
books only, and they were so comprehensive that you will not feel that you have not studied any concept which
Right.
can come to the examination. They have every concept and with a lot of examples, and that's one of the best thing I studied when I studied with the Wiley books. And yeah, that's the best thing. And in terms of international career, if I would ask, have you uh, seen or experienced that yes, with the CMUS international career is possible? This is the, I think, most controversial question I get in even my LinkedIn messages, most of the time,
Hmm.
even every week. So I just wanted
Hmm.
you to answer whether it can happen or not.
Okay. I think very honestly, what I have learned all this time, the international career is only possible when you have good experience, or you
True.
have a qualification which is which people know about. So even if you end up talking to a lot of people who are in the States, they might just not know what a CMA USA is. And I have
True. True.
experiences.
True.
I can say people might have different experiences, but with the people whom I spoke with, and they were in finance, they were even managers, they did not have an idea. Some had, some did not. Okay, people had to stay in touch to know about these things. But when I say CPA US, everybody had an idea. So again, But even after having a CPA US, you would not be able to go to US because you need to have that experience. So getting a job opportunity abroad, first thing, I think it's experience. And I would not say it didn't work. I got an opportunity with this company in Dubai, and they actually reached out to me because of the little experience. I was 2 years into the business, I mean market, doing all this stuff, and I had CMA US. I cleared by then, so they reached out to me, and I actually cleared. But the ratio of spend and the earning at that stage for me didn't quite really matched up, but it happened because of CMA US. So I would say there's 20% of chance that you will get a call because you have this degree, but there's 80% of chance you'll get this call because you have the experience, nonetheless, if you have this degree or not. So I think as a fresher, if you want to have a career abroad, the best way out is to go and have a degree right there from their university and go out and look for that. But that's the hard truth. It doesn't come very easy.
Sure. And
But with SEMA, I think something that you're doing right now, and I might think of doing as well. SEMA, I think the path might open. I mean, again, because I have not done that, I don't know, but I'm hoping it does. So if that ever happens, you are the one who's going to tell us.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Even I have seen that there is international career possible with the SEMA and ACCA and all these certification. And even
Mhm.
if you don't want to go abroad, but you wanted to, work in the top tier cities in India, you can have a. I can assure that you can have a job into the which is the
No, really, yeah.
Bangalore easily if you're having either SEMA
Mhm.
certification or either CMA USA. Because I've seen by myself, I've received number of calls, but I was not up to shifting to Bangalore. But that's the only reason. But
Mhm.
you can have a calls from the top tier cities of the India, and you can work there as well. If you do not want to go abroad, in terms of abroad, yes, SEMA definitely will give you an edge at that
Yeah.
point. This is what I feel. And with
No, definitely. I think CMA US for getting a job in India after you are 2 years into
hmm
experience, it's gonna do wonderful. So I have had these
yes.
calls from, the top threes, those consulting management industry companies,
hmm
McKinsey and all of them. Uh, I mean, for some reasons, in terms of pay parity and specific things, I did not make my selection right now basis of that into those areas because the role was not something that I was looking at. But they do recognize CMA US, and I think getting into these countries is the toughest. Sorry, countries. Getting into these companies is
Yeah.
the toughest job ever. A top four. I mean, the big four is still, I think, now very accessible, but getting into the consulting world is still difficult. So things happen. I think CMA US being in India, it's way too fruitful after 2 years of experience. I can't really say too much about abroad, but I think it also depends on the chances that you take.
Yes, even I keep on searching on the jobs, and I have seen that a lot of like if I see it in my time when I was doing CMA USA in 2017 or 16, there was not a lot of job description which specify that they need CMA USA or either SEMA or
Mhm.
ACC or something like that. But now, uh, you know, companies are opening up for the people who have done different finance certification. And recently, when I was preparing a material or a newsletter for the candidates, I was looking at the job description of the KPMG, Deloitte, PwC. They were specifically identifying into the, in the job description that it needs CMA USA candidates, and they are fine with that.
Mhm.
They
Yeah.
were they were specifying they also need ICWS, CMA USA slash CPA slash ACC slash SEMA. They are fine with that. They are opening up for the
Yeah.
every certificate. But this was not possible 4 years back when I was doing it. I was keep on
Yeah.
searching where I would find this job description where I can see they specify that they need CMAUSA, but I was not able to find that. But now it's
And now
very
you know my frustration why I always do select all and apply all. That's why I do that. I'm not getting my head into that part. You select if
yeah,
you want me or not. So, but
yes,
when I was doing this course back in my time, not that I'm too old, I was doing it in 2018. But I think my father used to say that do it right now, 6, 7 years down the line, or maybe 10 years down the line. This course, clearing this course is going to become so difficult that people who have done it earlier, they're going to be like, the people who are the
that's
masters
true.
at it. And I think
That's
that's
true.
somehow becoming true with every year that is passing by.
Yes, because pass rate is also declining at somehow. If you see 4 year
Yeah.
back pass rate and today pass rate, yeah, it's declining actually because
Okay.
they're making their curriculum more rigorous and more difficult as more candidates are involving in that, and that's the point.
Hmm.
That's with every certification. Even if you see with the CFA. go with the pass rate in like 10 years back and now
Yeah.
it's like it's on really downside. So it's with
Mm-hmm.
every certification when people go, a lot of people get enrolled and they usually
Yeah.
get this curriculum more rigorous and more competitive in terms of getting the qualification at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And that what I have explored. And one more question, which is I would like you to suggest, like there are people who are for the experienced one who are having experiences for 2 years to 5 years to 10 years. They're not having time, right? They're having
Mm-hmm.
responsibilities to keep up, and but they wanted to do some certification. CMA USA is right for them. That's a quick two examination only, and they can get the title. They get the whatever they wanted from that certification. For the undergraduates, for the graduates who have time, who can give time, and there is no foundation in terms of cost and time, which certification do you suggest they should do if they wanted to and they wanted do research on multiple certification, then choose one? Which other certification you would suggest? If you have time and money and you can spend and you are fine with, you have no responsibility, I think you should go for this alternative rather than CMA USA,
Mm-hmm.
because this is the
So
kind of question I
genuinely,
encounter very a lot of time. A lot of time I get.
okay. Mm-hmm. It's
Yeah.
a tricky one. So I think CMA US, it's so quick that people doing their graduation can do it. I think part of its qualification is that you are a BCom qualified or at least a bachelor's qualified, but
Yes.
then it's okay. You can appear the exam and then you can submit the qualification later at the
Hmm.
license time. So maybe get started with it. But if not CMA US, I would not recommend doing a SEMA for the simple reason you get a lot of exemptions after you are done with undergraduate. Why do you want to go through the pain of money and time
True.
and give that extra
True enough.
exam? So I wouldn't support that. If you are someone who's very interested in CFA, get started as soon as you can. It's
Yeah.
time taking it. I feel so. See, of course, go as soon as you can do that. But for me, I think people who are looking at these qualifications, I'm not talking about CA and ICWA India.
Yeah.
I'm talking about CPA, SEMA, the global qualifications, which are
Global
not basically,
qualification. Yeah.
no native Indian qualifications.
Yeah.
I would say if the time and money is not your hiccup, then why not just go out and study abroad? You'll get a job of your dreams if you want, and then you can pursue it there, right?
Yeah.
But if you are someone who has to do it while you're in college and that's your question, I would ask people to go and do courses into Power BI, Tableau, and all those stuffs, because doesn't matter you do this qualification or not, in your job you would basically, if you have the knowledge, I think in the recent times, if you have knowledge to Power BI,
Yeah.
Tableau, you are the one of the top shortlisters, the A-listers in a job profile. So I think
True.
with the recent market, if you want to utilize your time in college, learn the dashboarding, VI softwares that are there in the market. Understand how to code on Cognos BI. I mean, it's not a hardcore coding, but if you know how to code on Cognos BI, doesn't matter how you appear on the interview with the interviewer. If you know that, you are in. If you know how to make a dashboard using Power BI, you are in. If you are in Tableau, you are in. And these are all finance tools, right? So I think do that, utilize that time. If I knew it before and I would have done that, I would have been the master of my trade, I'm telling you. So these are quick courses.
That's it. That's it. That's a wonderful answer. Actually, this is very true. If you wanted to go ahead with the different certification other than CMA USA, do CMA
Mm-hmm.
USA, then get exemption of a lot of papers, get into directly
Yeah.
into the strategic level or management level,
Mm-hmm.
and get exemption and do that rather than just keeping up with the
Yeah.
for 13 14 papers. You just need to focus on the one qualification, then do the other along with the job. When you are into the
Right.
profession, you feel fine that this is the right profession I'm in, rather than
Right.
spending a lot of time and money. And that's really true. Same case with me. If I would be, having this much knowledge that Power BI and
Yeah.
VBA and all this is going to be future after 3 to 4 years or 5 years down the line,
Mm-hmm.
I would be doing the same along
Yeah.
with the other
Yeah.
qualification. Even rather than
Right.
doing it right now or 2 years back, I was doing it 4 years or 5 years back and having the edge of more experience into these softwares. So this is a really good answer because I'm seeing
No, I mean
people.
people who are in college
Yeah.
and they want to utilize. start with your first year. I think by the time you are able and ready to provide your qualification examinations and go for job interviews, I don't know how far these people would reach. Yeah, even I was telling my younger brother, why don't you do finance? Like, I am here and I can guide you so much, and he's just
Yeah,
not into it. So, but now I feel, now that you're saying that, people who are starting to understand and be able to create those dashboards into Power BI Tableau right from their first years. I mean, you have
yeah,
3 years to practice. You can do it in your projects, and if you're not, you do so much of your internships. Look out for internships. There's so many internships that will hire you, just like that,
yeah.
will give you stipend as well. It's going to be too good a deal.
And what I feel finance is the best career because they I don't think they can be they any kind any time of or in the future they can be a recession there because
Mm-hmm.
what happens like in terms of investment into whether into the private equity hedge fund or mutual fund, they are going to keep going, whether it's a
Mm-hmm.
down in the market, whether it's up in the market, they needs to be proper reporting that needs to be there, proper accounting that needs to be there for at every point of time into the future, for every fund, for every
Yeah.
every company, for every regulatory reporting, management
Mm-hmm.
reporting that I do for the management reporting, so the private equity funds, that's they are not going anywhere, whether market is
Yeah.
up, whether market is down. So I think finance is the best career if we're having IT skills as well along into the different softwares, as you said, Power BI and SQL. SQL is the most demanded software in today's time for fetching the large data.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. I think I am losing you for some reason. Can you hear me? Yeah, I can
Yeah,
see you
it's
now.
fine. It's fine.
So I think on the other hand, it's fine. Oh, okay, I forgot what I was saying, but yeah, I mean, you are right. And I was trying to say, I think one more thing which has just, yeah, skipped off my mind. I think finance, why it is one of the good lines to be in, is that we are not bound to a specific industry.
That's
And with
true.
that said, what happens is a lot of companies, put these clauses that, you cannot work with our competitors for like another
Hmm.
1 year or so. And being a finance professional, you can pretty much move anywhere that you want. You don't have to be in a fintech
And
industry, or you don't
and
just have to be in
competitors
manufacturing.
competitors are really fine to hire you. This has happened with me.
Yeah.
They always want to
Yeah.
fetch the client of the other, sorry, the employees of the other competitive company because they're having the
Correct.
same process. They don't need to,
Yeah.
give them a lot of guidelines or
Teach them.
trainings. It's fine. It's fine. They're fine to hire.
Yeah.
And it's a kind of, I see like it's a kind of war keep on going that I'm fine with the keeping on the name, but it's going to be
Hmm.
experience for the people. Evaluator, Mercer, equity knowledge partner, they are keep on
Hmm.
hiring each other's employees, and I don't know
Uh-huh.
why they're fine with that. And it happens that every two
Yeah.
years they keep on shifting the job of the in three verticals of these companies. And it's
Hmm.
I was like, why it's happening? It was happening because they're having similar process, similar business lines, similar competitors, and similar
Hmm.
kind of similar clients. They don't need to give them a lot of training, and it's fine. They're fine with that. Let's do this. Let's keep on this, having this war.
Yeah. But I think, well said, but I think that is also a reason that it's a white collar job. You can pretty much move to any industry. You don't have to
Any
be,
industry.
just get stuck, because people who are engineers, if imagine someone, just says them,
Yeah,
this is the list of 50 companies that I don't want you to work with for another 1 year. Where do the person go? Just change his profile. That's not
yeah,
very much possible, right? Or
true.
maybe change the way on the items or equipments, I don't know, but on whatever they work, it's going to be difficult. Even for the marketing people, just imagine marketing and sales people, if they are into defense, they can't just, change their scope and go sell consumer products. It's not going to happen. You don't have relations with those people to be able to sell it to them. So, finance, I think, in that way, is a very safe job.
Sure. And thank you. It was really great interview, and it has been really great conversation till now. And I wish that a lot of people are going to be, inspired by this conversation, and a lot of people are going to get help with this conversation because people, I seriously, I get a lot of messages either in YouTube comment box, whether in Instagram, whether even on personal messages, because I'm
Hmm.
connected with different groups. They keep on asking a different question: how to prepare, which curriculum is better, which course
Right.
provider is better, whether I will get the job or not. That's the main question that people ask. You will
Hmm.
definitely get a job if you're targeting the right profile at the right
Of course.
time and at the right time of your career pursuing it. And that's the main factor. And that has
Hmm.
been really great conversation. Thank you for giving your time. And I will going to put Sakshi's link of the LinkedIn and Instagram as well into the description box. You can go and follow her. If you needed to ask any question to her, you can ask. I think
Definitely.
that is going to be fine.
Definitely.
Yeah, because a lot
But
of people need
I
help.
think with this, Imanshu, I would like to say thank you so much for inviting me. It has been lovely talking to you. And I think one thing that I have to give it to you is that, I don't know if you will agree to that, but in our times, there were no other person who was able to guide us. I think the only person we had to
Yes,
trust was that education provider and the teacher, that are we even going to get benefit out of this?
and the
And we
Google.
would just go on blind trust and just go on with it. And people who had done CMA US, I think earlier than us, 2014, 2015, they would never reply back. They
Yeah,
would never reply
because
back. But with this
they were
platform,
not fine. Yeah,
yeah,
they were not fine with their
yeah,
certification. At that time, there was no
right.
popularity of the CMAs. That's true.
Yeah, true. But I think with this platform, I think a lot of people are going to gain a lot of information. And I think that's an amazing work that you're doing.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot. I'm just trying to build a finance community that people can help each other. And in the long term, I have different views for this. Let's see how far we will go. As I said, if you need any help, any type of question you have for related to CMA USA or in terms of
Hmm.
finance, you can go and ping Sakshi on the LinkedIn and Instagram as well.
I'm
Thank you,
all in.
Sakshi. Yeah, thank you,
Definitely.
Sakshi, for
Thank
giving your time.
you.
It's
Bye
been
bye.
great conversation. I really enjoyed it. Thank you. Bye.
Same here. Good day. Bye.
Bye.
आपके सामने एक बड़ा सा रेड बटन है। हाँ